Greystone High was built in 1915, its red brick facade and arched windows, once a proud symbol of academic achievement in a small Midwestern town. Over the decades, however, murmurs began to circulate among students and staff, stories of unexplained occurrences that could not be dismissed as mere coincidence. It all started one chilly November evening when a janitor, Mr. Reynolds, made his routine rounds. As he walked down the nearly deserted corridor near the old auditorium, he noticed that the door to room 307, usually locked after hours, was ajar. The room, once used for history classes and school plays, had been closed off for years following a series of tragedies that no one ever fully spoke about. Mr. Reynolds paused, feeling a prickling chill on the back of his neck, and heard what sounded like soft weeping coming from inside. When he hesitantly pushed the door open, he found nothing but a thin layer of dust and a lone, faded photograph of a young student with sorrowful eyes. Shaken, he hurried back to his duties, but the memory of that moment would haunt him for years. In the weeks that followed, similar accounts began to surface. Teachers reported a strange feeling of being watched in their classrooms during after-school club meetings, and several students claimed to have seen a figure, a girl in a vintage school uniform, gliding silently down the hallways. One senior, Michael, recounted how he was alone in the library late one evening, poring over research for a project, when he noticed a subtle movement in the reflection of an old, ornate mirror hanging by the circulation desk. The figure, he insisted, vanished before his eyes, leaving behind only a fleeting glimpse of deep, unspoken sorrow. Local newspapers eventually picked up on the unusual tales, and an investigation into Greystone High's history uncovered a dark chapter. In 1947, a fire had swept through part of the school during a winter dance, claiming the lives of several students. Although officially deemed an accident, many whispered that the disaster had been compounded by long-forgotten tensions and unresolved grief. Some even suggested that the very spirit of that lost night lingered in the corridors, manifesting in the form of the young girl seen by so many, a symbolic echo of the souls who never left. Decades later, paranormal investigators set up a cautious overnight watch in the now seldom used room 307, where Mr. Reynolds first encountered the inexplicable. Their recordings captured inexplicable drops in temperature and bursts of static, punctuated by what sounded unmistakably like a faint, desperate plea for help. In one grainy video, a shadow flitted across the far wall, too human in shape and movement to be explained by any natural cause. Today, Greystone High remains an active school. Its aged halls, a blend of modern learning spaces and silent relics of the past. Many teachers have come to accept that they are not alone in the building. The gentle brush of a cold draft on a warm day, the soft echo of footsteps in an empty corridor, or the lingering feeling of being watched during a late study session may all be evidence that the spirits of Greystone's past still roam its corridors. Whether driven by sorrow, regret, or a need for closure, these restless presences serve as a somber reminder that some tragedies echo through time, refusing to be forgotten.